Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Evercade A to Z, a series of explorations of the games for Blaze's Evercade retro gaming platform. Today's game is Super Asteroids and Missile Command, which was originally a 1995 release for Atari Lynx, developed by Steve Marshner. It was the last game cartridge to be released for the Atari Lynx and only released in North America and Europe. So rather than attempting to be arcade-perfect adaptations of these two classic games, both games on this cartridge aim to offer enhanced versions specifically designed for the Lynx. Super Asteroids features new graphics and power-ups, and Super Missile Command features new graphics and the ability to purchase special weapons between stages. Now, although an adaptation of very old arcade games might not sound like killer app material, this cartridge is actually regarded as one of the better releases for the Lynx, and we'll see why in a moment. So let's go play Super Asteroids and Super Missile Command.
Okay, here we are with Super Asteroids and Missile Command for Evercade, played on the Evercade VS, as we have done the last few games. These were originally for Atari Lynx, and as I noted in the intro, they were actually the last games to be released for the Atari Lynx. 2 games on a single cartridge, and quite fondly regarded. I always sort of wrote these off back in the day, saying, I don't really want to play Asteroids and Missile Command on the Lynx. It's capable of much better things. But it turns out these are actually really great versions of both games. So let's take a look. And excuse any noise from my cat. Right, Super Asteroids and Super Missile Command. So you can pick which one you want to play from this startup screen here. You push left to play Asteroids, or you push right to play Missile Command. So let's start with Asteroids, because this is probably the slightly simpler of the two. I mean, it's Asteroids pretty much as you've always known it, except with the resolution of the Lynx's screen, it's quite sort of zoomed in, I guess, and you've also got these power-ups. So those sort of starburst things that appear, those are power-ups, and different colour ones of those do different things. You'll see that it also starts a lot easier than old school Asteroids. And it repositions your ship in the middle of the screen at the end of each level as well, which is something the original doesn't do. The original just has a sort of seamless transition from stage to stage, regardless of where your ship is on the screen. And that isn't always super convenient. But that does mean you can be a little bit more free with the movement controls, because you know at the start of the next stage your position's going to get reset anyway. You'll also notice that you don't die immediately either. You have a shield which automatically fires itself off when you collide with something. That's the white bar over on the side of the screen. And you still have lives as well, but each life now has a shield bar as well. Now that doesn't replenish between stages, so you need to connect the yellow starburst to pick that up. And the difference in sort of punishment for getting hit, if you like, is that severe knockback you suffer. And because Asteroids has so much sort of momentum in its in its movement, then yeah, you'll go flying basically. So let's get that for a bonus to our shields. That's the UFOs as always for some bonus points. Another power up there, except power up disappears when the level resets, so in some instances you might want to leave some asteroids standing so you can nab a power up before the level ends. The sound in this is really simplistic, but I think it's actually a good demonstration of the distinctive sound of the Lynx. I'm not sure offhand what sound chip it used and if it was the same as in anything else, but I know that the Lynx had a very distinctive and immediately recognisable sound to it. And one of the most distinctive sounds in the Lynx's repertoire, as it were, was its explosion sounds. And For my money, the Lynx's explosion sounds are some of the best synthesized explosion sounds from this era. So it's not using digitized sound. It was capable of doing digitized sound, but it often didn't. Usually for memory or space constraints. But that basic explosion sound you can hear there. That explosion sound you can hear there. It's one of my favourite sounds on the platform because I think it's a great sound. It's got some weight and body to it. Right, so here's a good example of just letting that asteroid survive so that we can nab the power up before the level's over. Then shoot the last one, fade out, and you're back in position for the start of the next stage. So yeah, this is a good version of Asteroids. Possibly my second favourite version, I think, after the 7800 version. I think my ranking of Asteroids versions goes 7800 version at the top, then the Atari 8-bit / Atari 5200 version, which I know isn't a popular choice for some reason, but I've always really liked it. Then the arcade version. Oh, excuse me, slight hiccups. Then the arcade version. Then the 2600 version as a distant last. I know how popular the 2600 version was, and I know the ridiculous number of game variations it has got, but I don't know. I just don't like it very much. I think that's mostly because the sort of inherent limitations on the system meant that you have very, very predictable asteroid patterns in that one. They just come down those two distinct columns down the side of the screen, and it's very predictable and not very interesting to play. Even with all those different possible game variants. Oh, give me that, give me that. Hey, triple shots. This is the best power-up. But unfortunately, this one only lasts for a limited time, as seen by the orange bar over on the right, on the left rather. Still, it does last a reasonably generous amount of time, so be sure to take full advantage of it while you can. And it's gone again. Farewell, triple shots. We barely knew you, but we loved you all the same. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, oh no. It's starting to get a bit hard now. Oh no. Game over. Well, that's that. That's that, I guess. That is Super Asteroids for Atari Lynx. So what we'll do now is we will restart, which I remember how to do that. Is it these buttons? Yes. So on Evercade, that start and R1 will restart the Lynx. Right, let's now play Super Missile Command, which starts off as you might expect for Missile Command, with a few little differences. One is the fact that your missiles fire fairly slowly to begin with. Two is the fact that the missiles you destroy, they don't chain react with each other, which is a bit of a shame. But you'll see why they don't once we clear this first stage. Which consists of several waves. So you see we get the usual points as a bonus after we clear an individual wave. But we also get money, which is new for this version. Because yes, there is a purchasable power-up system in this, and it's great. So I think there's 3 waves in our stage. Again, that's another great Atari Lynx explosion sound you can hear there. And people programming for Atari Lynx knew how good that sound was because... Oh no, we lost the city. Because it's used a lot. Oh, I'm not paying attention at all. Get rid of the flying things because they are dangerous. Why are there so many of them? Well, that wasn't good. Okay, 4 stages per wave. You know what? I'm going to start again because oops, that's the wrong combination of buttons. Okay, beg your pardon. Select an R1 to restart. Start and R1 inverts the screen. On the original Lynx, that would be for left-handed players to play with the controls the other way around. I don't know anyone who took advantage of that, but it's nice it was there. Alright. That feels better. And again, if you please. So you see, in these early stages, because your missiles fire so slowly, you've really got to anticipate where the enemy missiles are going to go, and the path they're going to take, and the speed they're moving at, and that sort of thing. And of course, as we saw in our last pitiful attempt, pay close attention to these bastards. That's more like it. Right. You might also notice as well, down at the bottom, you actually get bonus missiles. Any missiles you had left over at the end of a previous stage, they actually get added to your stock. So later waves in a stage, you actually have more ammunition to play with, which allows you to be a little bit more liberal with how you're firing. Right. Wonderful. Right. So now, after 4 waves, we're taken to this screen here where we can purchase both different versions of our standard missiles and also special weapons. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to have the cluster, which costs 500. That leaves me with 264 euros, apparently. And I'm going to buy a few... stars or rain? They're both pretty good. I guess some stars. Oops, wrong button. So I'll buy 5 of them. And then we go to exit. And that takes us to the next stage. So now you'll see a few things. 1, the missiles I'm firing are much quicker. 2, they have a much bigger explosion. And 3, oh my god, so many enemies. Yeah, this game ramps up very, very quickly. And so you need to make really good use of those extra weapons that you've bought. He says, enjoying a period of unsettling calm. There we go. So this cluster option that I've gone for, you can see that explodes in a very wide explosion. And it's because of these different explosion patterns that the missiles don't chain react in this one. It's because by picking the right weapon, you can put yourself at such an advantage you don't need those chain reactions. Ooh, excuse me. Also, by hitting the B button, you can use your special weapon as well, which you've already seen me use a couple of times during particularly hectic moments. And those can get you out of many a sticky spot, shall we say. But your ammunition for those is limited to what you bought, so use them wisely. Whereas, like I say, because your ammunition stocks of your basic missiles actually build up with each passing wave, you can afford to be fairly liberal with them. Bonus city! Hooray! So that's every 5,000 points, I think, unless you get an extra city back. One thing you will want to remember is that you carry over your special weapons and the ammunition they have to the next stage, but you do not carry over your basic weapon. So you will need to purchase that again in the next stage. So you want to set aside some money to do that. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to buy the laser-launched missiles, because these are the fastest ones, I think. And I like these. And we can also afford one of the Armageddon weapons. I'm going to grab one of those. And you can then switch between... your special weapons with the select button on the Evercade. Oh, these things are a pain. You have to sort of wait until they lower their shields and then hit them. Or finish the wave, and then that will make them go away. Right, next stage, please. The Armageddon weapon I'm saving for absolutely desperate circumstances, because it's basically a screen clearing smart bomb, that one. So it is the best special weapon, but also the most expensive, unsurprisingly. But yeah, I'm a big fan of these laser guided missiles because they're super fast, and they also have quite a large explosion as well. So they strike a really nice balance. One thing you will notice that this game lacks is oh, time for Armageddon. Oh, just slightly too late. Yeah, one thing this game does lack is the score multiplier from the earlier versions of this. So that means that your score is sort of being earned theoretically at a constant rate, but you actually tend to be dealing with war missiles at once, and so you'll find that the further you go in the game, the higher your scoring potential is. It just doesn't accelerate quite as rapidly as the original arcade version does. That's the last of my star special weapons. Oh no, 2 cities down. Disaster. Well, we're nearly at 10,000, so... Alright, let's get one of them again. And let's get a couple of them, because they're useful. And we'll be fighting fit in no time. Except, of course, we need 20,000 points to get back up to full strength, I think. Yeah, so while the version of Asteroids on here is maybe my second favourite version of Asteroids, this is definitely my favourite version of Missile Command. So for Missile Command, my preferences go Atari Lynx, Atari 2600, Atari 8-bit / Atari 5200, and finally arcade version. Didn't really need to do that. Never mind. Bonus City? Thank you. Except I lost one in the meantime, didn't I? So that didn't... That was just not a net gain. Never mind. I'm doing my best. There's a lot happening right now. There's frankly a lot to deal with. Will you go away? Damn it. I feel we're on the way to the inevitable end. Patty. My cat is clawing my leg. Because she wants attention. Oh, you little... Why do you do this? Oh, I think it's all over. I think it might be all over. Oh no, we might actually be good. It was a close run thing for sure. Oh, dear me. Lasers. I can't afford Armageddon this time. Let's have one of them. I suspect we're not going to last much longer. Oh, that's the one with the shields. There we go. These ones, you've just got to sort of surround them with explosions. Oh no, mountain missiles! Oh no! Well, this is the end, my friend. This is how it ends. Game over. So yeah, that is Super Asteroids and Super Missile Command for the Atari Lynx, now on Evercade. I really like those two games, and as huge as those pixels are, I think they play really nicely on the big screen as well. So if you're a fan of either Asteroids or Missile Command, I highly recommend giving these two a go, because they're a lot of fun, and yeah, fun to play. So give them a try. These are on the Atari Lynx Collection 1 cartridge, by the way, just as a reminder. Right, we'll leave that there for today. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.